XM Channel 80, plus ESPN Radio simulcast over the live national television airwaves of ESPN News. Number to call up is 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. You are listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. Stephen A. Smith Show is being brought to you by Prilosec OTC. Kick your acid habit with Prilosec OTC. Time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, no contracts. Let's get right into it. Because Saturday night was incredibly, incredibly alarming. I'm out in Los Angeles for the week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here for the week. The Los Angeles Lakers have big games. I'd love to tell you, New York, that the Knicks had big games, but we all know. If you're the New York Knicks, the big news with the New York Knicks is when they win a damn game. Because why wouldn't you try to lose every possible game imaginable? So you can have at least a 14% chance to get those ping pong balls aimed in your direction so you can have a shot at the number 1 overall pick who's scheduled to be Zion Williamson out of Duke. Why wouldn't you want that? So if you're the New York Knicks, as far as I'm concerned, the only time you're making relevant news is when you're winning a basketball game, and you deserve to be excoriated if that's what you're doing, because there's no excuse in hell why you should be winning a basketball game at this juncture. You're 13-50. We all know you're not good, you stink. You traded Porzingis. You got cap space for 2 max players. You're hoping that Kyrie and Kevin Durant comes. And you're hoping to get the number 1 overall pick and the ping pong balls in your direction. That's what you wanted. That's what you want if you're the New York Knicks. And as far as I'm concerned, you should be taking every opportunity to make sure you don't win. Period. And if you're the New York Knicks, every time you see Kyrie looking melancholy, if not downright sad, or every time you hear a little mini tirade from Kevin Durant, that's bad news for you. Because if the media is the problem, and the media is a headache, and that microscopic light, the lens coming down upon you, courtesy of television and television cameras, if that's too much for you, you ain't even think about coming to New York. Because it don't get no worse than that, than New York City. And oh, by the way, if somebody's going to come to New York, who the hell says they're coming to the Knicks? How about the Nets? Keep telling y'all, pay attention. No stars whatsoever, hovering around 500, relatively decent basketball team. Keep sleeping on the Nets if you want to. That would be a mistake. Because some of these free agent stars are going to consider the Nets this summer. I'm here to tell you. But that's not what's on my mind. You know, when I watched the Los Angeles Lakers lose to the Phoenix Suns Saturday night, when I watched Josh Johnson catching alley-oop passes, DeAndre Ayton, looking like the second coming of Hakeem Olajuwon, depression kicked in. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to apologize to you. I want the Lakers to win. I love L.A. I love being here. There's a smile on my face every time I'm in Southern California. I'm here to tell you something right now. It's a beautiful privilege to be out here with these palm trees, this sunshine. Rodeo Drive, just a few miles up the road. I don't even mind getting stuck in traffic on the 405. I mean, it's some special stuff here, particularly when you consider the alternative is the taxes in New York City coming with blizzards. But I looked at the Los Angeles Lakers and I said, what the hell is going on in this city with this team? This is embarrassing. And now it's regressed to sadness. And dare I say, some bit of delusional or delusionment. Here's the thing. When we watched the Lakers lose Friday night to the Milwaukee Bucks at the Staples Center, a game in which LeBron James basically praised the Milwaukee Bucks, but people are going to interpret him as him knocking his own roster along with management for the Lakers, because people can tend to do that from time to time. That's problematic. But the time has come to recognize what the hell is going on with the Lakers and to call it like they said. And oh, by the way, I'm not stopping at the Lakers. Boston Celtics, I'll get to you in a minute. When I looked at the Lakers play Friday night, they're not a team. They're a collection of individuals with problems from the top on down. And something needs to be said about this. When I said the Lakers stink, I was just talking about how they looked in the moment. I'm not talking about how they looked overall. I predicted this team was going to the conference finals. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, as we sit here today, I still believe if LeBron James had not missed those 18 games with the way that they were flowing, the Los Angeles Lakers would be a top 4 or 5 seed in the Western Conference right now, clearly in position to win 2 playoff series and advance to the conference finals. I really believe that. I believe the Lakers would have pulled it off. But somewhere along the way, the train has gone off the rails. It starts with the superstar himself, universally recognized as the best player on the planet. I'm here to tell y'all something. That's not going to be the case if they don't make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, ain't nobody going to be talking about LeBron James being the best player in the world. I promise you that. I was in Philadelphia Saturday night. I watched Kevin Durant just sleepwalk his way to 34 points. It almost looks that easy to him, ladies and gentlemen. One of the most efficient superstars you will ever see in the game of basketball. That would happen to be Kevin Durant. He could score 30 in his sleep. Philadelphia, Tobias Harris gets a little hot in the first half, and Jimmy Butler's consistent, and Joel Embiid is not playing, and Ben Simmons is recording a triple-double, albeit with 9 turnovers, and the list goes on, and Steph Curry's in foul trouble, and Draymond Green is going off about an official, and DeMarcus Cousins is out there dropping 25 points. And then you look up at the scoreboard, and it's like Kevin Durant. 26, 28, 30, 32, 34 points. This is what he does. So if LeBron James ends up missing the playoffs this year, I promise you, we ain't going to be talking about him like the best player in the world. I'm sorry. You know what we're going to think about? We're going to think about the 8 straight trips to the NBA Finals in an Eastern Conference that was notoriously and perpetually weak. And then the second he got us behind out west, he missed the playoffs. That's going to be the narrative. No matter how hard he tries to debunk it, that's going to be the narrative. At least by half the basketball population. Now, whether or not it's going to be accurate is a matter of opinion. But it's not going to escape anybody that's going to be the thought process harbored by many. And by many, I mean millions. The thing about the Lakers is that it doesn't stop there. Poor Luke Walton. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I feel bad for the brother. I really do. Because when you speak to folks in NBA circles, folks who know basketball, folks who care, while Luke Walton may have his rough patches from time to time, a la his rotation, helping to develop an identity, defense. The bottom line is that universally he's recognized as a good young coach with tremendous promise. But what has happened? What has happened is the Lakers are giving up over 122 points a game. They can't hit threes. They can't hit free throws. They're not defending. There's tumult and acrimony everywhere. And when that happens in Tinseltown, heads are going to roll. Somebody's going to suffer. There's no way around it, ladies and gentlemen. There just is no way around it. And the reason why I say poor Luke Walton, I don't think it's his fault. What roster has Luke Walton been given to work with? Because now we have to get to my brother, Magic Johnson, who I love dearly, and a guy in Rob Pelinka, who I respect. But you got enough executives hating on Rob Pelinka, some of them don't take his calls. According to them, anyway. I know reportedly Dell Demps wouldn't do it. He only wanted to talk to Magic. And then you got Magic. I know Lonzo Ball has been hurt. But no major moves made before the trading deadline. From a PR perspective, clearly things were mishandled about the whole Anthony Davis fiasco. It's just undeniable. You combine that with the fact that you traded away who some believed was your best center, even though I think JaVale McGee has had a pretty damn good year considering the circumstances and was rolling. Zubac got a lot of respect from people. You traded for Muscala and then Muscala doesn't play? Lance Stevenson shows up and makes buckets for you in the first half. He's not playing the second half? Brandon Ingram just decided to show up offensively 2 weeks ago? Kyle Kuzma suddenly has dipped a little bit? Josh Hart? He doesn't seem to be there, all there together? No doubt because he's getting lost in the shuffle as so many things are trying to change. We talk about soap operas like General Hospital and Young and the Restless. There was a soap opera that used to be on called As the World Turns. I don't even know if it's still on now. I never watched it, but I know the name of the show. It was called As the World Turns. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Los Angeles Lakers. As the world turns. It's who they are right now. It's a mess. We can slice it any way we want to. It's a mess. We can't deny it. I wish we could, but we can't. And then we get to Jeannie Buss. Let me tell you something about the Los Angeles Lakers under Jeannie Buss. You know what the hard part about covering the Los Angeles Lakers are? It's people like Jeannie Buss. Y'all have no idea how sweet and wonderful this woman is. And I'm talking about on down, the people that work under her, to people that work. You walk around the Lakers franchise from top to bottom. Ladies and gentlemen, there are people that get down. I mean, listen, you don't want them after you now. You don't want them in your face because you did something wrong because they'll eat you alive. Make no mistake about it. You can't find sweeter people. Just nice, professional, and core decency. It's impossible to root against them. It really is. And again, I'm openly and unapologetically biased towards Magic Johnson. I have known this brother for many, many years. I don't call him a friend. He's my brother. I love this man, and I'm rooting for him. But you got to call it like you see it. The roster should have been better. Should have been a few more shooters put around this roster. They should have had that from opening tap. And you don't trade a Zubac for a Muscala when Muscala and then bench Muscala. That can't happen. Everybody knows with the way things have looked and the way things are trending right now, 4.5 games out, 19 games left in the regular season. You lose tonight against the Clippers, it's over. It's over. There ain't no coming back from this. You ain't losing to the Clippers tonight and you going to the playoffs. It's not going to happen. I can tell you right now, it's a wrap. You lose to the Clippers tonight, it's a wrap. It's impossible to root against Jeannie Buss as far as I'm concerned. She's just wonderful. And the mistakes that she made with basketball operations as it pertains to Jim Buss, that was because of her daddy. Any of us would make that mistake. As beloved as Dr. Buss was, as revered as he was, you want to honor his wishes just knowing the man from afar. So imagine if you were his daughter Of course she wanted to honor that wish. Even if she waited too long, that's forgivable. And rolling with Magic Johnson and whatever he wants to do, that's understood. Because he is a basketball savant, even though I think he struggled with assembling this roster this year. Here's the flip side. Jeannie Buss, you cannot go and call the media's report about the Anthony Davis fiasco fake news. With all respect, with all due respect, ma'am, that was factually incorrect. Here is Jeannie Buss at the Sloan Sports Analytics Conference talking about fake news in regards to Anthony Davis trying to become a Laker. Listen to what she said.
You know, the biggest challenge for that are the fake news about how we were supposedly trading our entire roster for a certain player, which is completely not true. But those kind of stories, those stories leak out, and it hurt our young players. It wasn't fair. Magic got in front of that, and I think we're back on the right track. Hopefully that'll allow us to make a playoff push coming up here.
Jeannie Buss, that's just false. First of all, she's playing with words here. Here's what I mean. Did Magic sit up there and say, take everybody but LeBron? Literally speaking, of course not. But did he say, hey, who do you want other than LeBron? Yes, he did. Did the Pelicans require that he say that in order to even listen to him? Yes, they did. Does everybody and their mother know it's factually correct that in order to acquire Anthony Davis, you would have to be willing to give up the farm, theoretically speaking? Of course, we all know that. And in the aftermath of everything falling apart, it was Magic that acknowledged publicly he did not believe the New Orleans Pelicans were operating in good faith or negotiating in good faith. They had no intentions of pulling the trigger on a deal for Anthony Davis. And to paraphrase, collusion was taking place because you had a bunch of people in the league imploring New Orleans not to capitulate or cave in to the demands of Clutch Sports, Rich Paul, Anthony Davis, and to some degree the Los Angeles Lakers by giving him up to L.A. These are facts.